front and center, baby. Front and center. My goodness gracious. Thank you very much to literally everyone that I know right now, because oh my gosh, the love that you give me, the appreciation, the way that I'm seen lately. Oh my gosh. Talk about breaking out of your comfort zone, because yes, you see me on screen. You see me on my podcast. I'm talking to you like I'm leaving a voice message to one of my best friends, and I love that for me. I love that for us, because that's how I express myself, and this is the kind of content creator I love to be, and filmmaker, my gosh, and then some. Even though behind the scenes I'm creating so many cool things that I'm so over the moon excited for you guys to see. Anyways, Team Flyer. So, moving onward, I am like also extremely shy. And I feel like I really, really do feel like it happens to most people, in the sense of if you were a content creator or in the public scene, you get to be really shy as well. And people are like, how? And I'm like, well, just it happens. But seriously though, like I'm breaking out of my comfort zone a whole lot. And this is going to be a little bit in stages in this episode of this weekly episode thing that I'm doing. You can tell I'm getting nervous because of the way I'm speaking. But anyways, we move on. We prosper. Because mistakes and all, we are here. So, number one, I've come a long way. Health-wise, I've come such a long way. And if you've seen my story since day one, flipping like, oh my gosh, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for just sticking around and just like your cheers. And if this is the first video you see, thank you for being here. Just thank you. Welcome to the madness that is life. Welcome to the chaotic little me that I'm here to tell you my deep thoughts, but also to motivate you and also give you tools, tips, and tricks to love yourself, because that is what life is about. You just gotta love yourself. So me breaking out of my comfort zone has a lot to do with my health, because that, like my confidence, like left my body. My confidence like just was shot. Like there was nothing left of confidence. And once again, you see me on screen and it feels different, and I'm like, no babes, like this is like I've had panic attacks or like breakout moments like before recording or before walking on stage. Like it's still, there's a lot going on mentally that I have to prepare for. But because I love breaking generational trauma, and because I love being on stage and being center stage, I don't know, it's weird, feels weird saying that, but no, I love to create content that makes me believe in magic in the world and be there for the people and the community. So I have to put myself out there, because if not, then I'll just be hiding. Now, talking about this, like, it is so interesting to me, like when I talk to friends and people that like love me and know me, they're like, oh my God, you're like not shy at all. You get to talk to strangers. You're at a bar, you talk to strangers. You're at a cafe, you talk to strangers. You're at the park, you talk to strangers. I'm like, yeah, of course. Just because, that, or like when I'm at an event promoting my stuff or XYZ. But at the same time, I get like extremely nervous, and just like I'm still breaking out of like the fight or flight mode / survival mode in me, of when I'm in a room with random people. It doesn't have to be an event or anything like that. It could be like a bookstore, it could be the supermarket, it could be like literally anything. And I feel like I take too much space, and I feel like I'm gonna get like yelled at or scolded at for like being in a place where I don't belong. And even though that might sound a little bit like imposter syndrome, it doesn't happen necessarily on stage or when like the spotlight's on me or like whatever the event or product I have or whatnot. It's more so of like when I'm wandering through life kind of moments. So as I also am diving into that, I must say that this is me breaking out of my comfort zone. Even more so. Not only me singing at my concert, because I'm a singer now all of a sudden, because I'm acting now as well. Oh, she's an actress. Oh my gosh, she's doing it. It's sharing these truths with you, sharing you a weekly video of my life, of like what I see in my life, and sharing these thoughts with you, because the same way that I do it on my podcast, I do it here as well. Because if you relate to any of it, then welcome to the gosh darn team. You know what I mean? Like, you're a human being as well. I'm sure that your mind can go a million miles a minute. I'm sure that whether you're an actor or a singer or a content creator, or literally the opposite, you've had anxiety attacks, you've had some sort of depression, you've had ADHD, or you have, better said, and all these sorts of things. You are in these moments that you're breaking free, because if you're here, you're also about breaking generational trauma, and you're here about being the most realist version of yourself. So because I've gone on a journey that I've healed a lot and learned a lot and pushed through a lot, and I am in awe of the way that my life is right now, And granted, you may look at my life at some moments, and if you really want to dissect it, you're like, oh, but you don't have this, or you don't have that, I'm like, you know what, babes? You know what? First of all, if you're coming with this negative vibe, there's a door, out you go. Second of all, if you're being like truthful and like want to help, that's a little bit different. But most of all, I'm going to tell you my win list. I'm going to tell you the things I do have. And not only is that abundance from head to toe in so many different ways of like friendships, of love, of care, of wisdom, of health. The way that I've pushed forward with my health, my body and soul, the moment that it literally just, I was consistent. That's all it was. And it's easier said than done, and I get that. It's just that once it clicks and clicks, so if you're going through a really hard time with your health and you're like, oh my God, will I ever do this again? You will. Stay consistent. Just stay consistent in like things that are positive, read things that are positive, listen to things that are positive. Not the lulu, but even though we like the lulu a little bit because that's gonna be true lulu, whatever this quote was back in the day. But most of all, just surround yourself with things that give you that life and that light and that positive vibe. And that's something that I also want to like make sure I say in this weekly video for you and me both. Because life is difficult. Life is going to throw you up and down around. And the past, like literally a few weeks, have been just really ups and downs, and you're like, whoa, what am I doing? And not only that, it's also a time for me in my life that I'm making like a huge leap and a huge step forward, and I'm flying into the unknown, and I'm actually believing in myself, not only on stage, but off stage. I'm believing myself in ways and in depth that I haven't done it before. So for me, I take value in that as well. Now, the main thing I want to say in this whole video as well is that we need to play. We need to play more because I've worked a lot and I'm very work driven and goal driven, and I feel like there needs to be a purpose for things, for every single thing that I do. And play is a purpose. Rest is a purpose. So adding play to your life is what we're going to talk about really quickly. Because, once again, adding play to your life is a great way to boost creativity. It reduces stress and improves your overall well-being. And for one, that I play with kids basically every single day, it's so essential to be balanced and like to have a joyful life. Like play is such an essential part of that. And I love being goofy, but I've recognized the patterns in myself that in those certain moments of when I'm just by myself in a room full of people, like, you know what I mean? What am I talking about here? When I'm in a room full of people and I feel very lonely and I feel very like judged or looked at, I'm less goofy and I'm more just kind of in my own shell of things. And I'm like, you know what? No, I need to be my goofy self. I need to like be like wearing that colorful clothes or makeup or hair, blah, 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 just in general, because that's what life's supposed to be. It's supposed to be joyful. And that's how we gain balance. So trying something new is something that I definitely did recently, which was, oh my gosh, once again, she became a singer. Like, oh my gosh. She became an actress. Like, oh my gosh. That's been so high on my to-do list. That has been so incredibly high on my to-do list that the way that I just like went all in this year for both of those things, and I've been on stage already, and I'm like gearing up for my next concerts and gearing up for like more times I'm going to be on stage, gives me life, you know? I want to experiment as well, you know, with board games and video games because I am a video gamer. I'm a gamer. With both board and I don't know why I said only videos, but I do love board games. I am creating really cool, intricate projects that involve games and gaming. So I'm like, I should go dive in again, you know, because that is something that just inspires me. And I really want to get into that. I want to get back into my reading more, of course. I adore being reading. I was going to say being Rory Gilmore and just like reading, and just being in that world where the writer takes us for a nice, beautiful ride. You know, I also feel like being spontaneous. I don't know if I'm too spontaneous sometimes. I just feel for the past few months, especially after like recovering with like all my health stuff, I've been so work driven once again that I didn't have I didn't give myself space to be spontaneous. Not that I have every single moment of my life planned, and I'm not overbooked on purpose because I've learned my lesson. It's more so of like, okay, say yes to unexpected plans, or do something silly or out of character, like a fun outfit, or like a goofy handshake, or like just break routines and trying new things out. Like, I feel like for me, being spontaneous and making sure that I continue breaking generational trauma through healing, but through play most of all, would be that, like, expressing myself in a more playful way more. I don't know. I guess that just makes sense to me, but hey. Anything helps, right? And as well as like using my imagination, of course. Doodling, daydreaming, journaling, creativity, like build a Lego set, a puzzle, a fort, create and tell silly stories, so on and so forth. Like all these things, and like to laugh more about life, just laugh more at life. Oh my gosh. The key is to make play a priority, not just an afterthought. So what is something playful that you would like to try? How are ways that we can have fun together? How do you have fun? Please let me know down below, because it's so utterly important to me. So I'm going to go off on a break. I'm going to go play, and I'll let you all know. Hug tight. I love stronger. Always believe. Thank you for being here. I freaking adore you. Bye.